my heart for Tyler Perry because he works hard. But he isn't. Let's be very honest. A drag queen is somebody who works in drag.
But here's what nobody is connecting right now. Tyler Perry didn't just become a puppet by accident. There's evidence of something far darker, a systematic agenda to break down Black entertainers and force them into compromising their entire souls.
Some of us are against the Illuminati, and we are against the Illuminati at our own detriment. When people are against the Illuminati, then they get punched in the face all the time. The press hates them. Nobody likes them.
And the most shocking part? Tyler Perry has finally broken his silence, and what he's about to reveal about Oprah will change everything you thought you knew about the entertainment industry. This is the story they've been hiding. For years, we've watched from the sidelines as some of Hollywood's most powerful figures rose to unimaginable heights. Oprah Winfrey built an empire. Tyler Perry created a production studio that prints money. But behind the gleaming mansions and billion-dollar deals, there's a darker narrative that's finally coming to light. A narrative about control, manipulation, and the systematic destruction of anyone who dares to speak the truth. And at the center of it all, one man is now breaking his silence in ways that will make you question everything you thought you knew about the industry. This story begins not with Oprah or Tyler, but with a woman named Monique. And her story is the key that unlocks the entire puzzle.
Years ago, I did a movie called Precious. And on that film, I received $50,000, and that was not my argument because that's what I signed up for. We got labeled as difficult because I said one word, and that was no. I said no to Oprah Winfrey, Tyler Perry, Lee Daniels, and I said no to Lion.
Let me break down what Monique's telling you here. In 2009, she starred in Precious, a film that was co-produced by Oprah and Tyler Perry. The movie was a massive critical success. Monique delivered a powerhouse performance, one that would earn her an Academy Award. But here's where the story takes a sinister turn. Oprah and Tyler Perry didn't just want to capitalize on Monique's talent. They wanted to own her entire career trajectory. They demanded that she go on an unpaid press tour, traveling across multiple countries, doing interview after interview, promotion after promotion, all without a single additional dollar in her pocket beyond the $50,000 she'd already earned. Think about that for a second. They wanted free labor from a woman who had just poured her heart and soul into one of the most emotionally demanding roles of her life. When Monique, exhausted and boundaries conscious, simply said no, she didn't even refuse harshly. She just said she needed time with her family instead. Oprah and Tyler Perry decided to destroy her.
Each one of you said to me, Monique, you're not wrong. But none of y'all in real time were strong enough to go publicly and say, we can't throw our sister under the bus. When people said, Monique, do you think calling a boycott was extreme?
What Monique's revealing here is absolutely chilling. The producers, the directors, they all knew she was right. They all knew her demands were reasonable, but they lacked the spine to stand up to Oprah's wrath. So instead, they let her burn. The tabloids began running stories. Suddenly, Monique became difficult. She became impossible to work with. Directors stopped calling. Producers crossed her off their lists. Studios that had once competed for her signature suddenly closed their doors. She went from being an Oscar-winning actress to being radioactive in an industry she'd given everything to. But that wasn't enough for Oprah. She needed to humiliate Monique in a way that would ensure no one would ever dare to defy her again. So Oprah did something profoundly cruel. She invited Monique's brother, Gerald, onto her show. And on that show, Gerald confessed to sexually assaulting his sister when she was just a child.
I did assault and inappropriately touch my sister in manners that were not comfortable for her. And for that, I apologize.
Now, Monique had already publicly discussed her sexual assault. That wasn't a secret. But what was a secret, what Monique had shared with Oprah in confidence, was her complicated, fractured relationship with her own parents. She told Oprah during their preparation for Precious that she wasn't speaking to her mother, that they were in a bad place, that she was hurting. And Oprah, who positioned herself as Monique's confidant and friend, weaponized that information.
Oprah Winfrey and I have a problem. Oprah Winfrey called us up and she said my brother wanted to come on the show and talk about him molesting me, and he wanted to tell other parents how to look out for molesters. My brother Gerald is a charmer. So my mind thought was, because she said, do you want to come on? I said, I don't want nothing to do with that cat. I said, nigga, I know it's up to a scam, but people can change. And who am I to say he hasn't changed? It might really be different. So I don't want to get in the way of that. I just don't want nothing to do with it. She said, if you don't want me to have your brother on the show, I will cancel the show. No show will happen. But I wanted to call you up to see how you felt first. When I hung up that phone, brother, I looked at my husband. I said, that bitch is all right with me.
Monique thought it was settled. She'd given Oprah permission for her brother to appear. But then came the broadcast.
Now I begin to see commercials with my brother, my mother, my father, and my other brother. Now, the reason why that means so much is because in the conversation we had about my brother, we then went deeper. And we began to talk about our relationships with our mothers and our fathers. And I shared my relationship with her about my mother. I shared with her that me and my mother was not talking. I shared with her we were in a really bad place. I shared with her I was hurt and, trying to figure this thing out. She never said my mother was coming on that show, because had Oprah Winfrey said, I'm gonna have your mother, I would have said, shut it down.
Do you understand what Oprah did? She took Monique's trauma. She took her family secrets. She took her pain, her broken relationships, her most vulnerable admissions, and she broadcast them to millions of people on live television, knowing full well that Monique would never have consented to it. This was psychological warfare. This was calculated destruction. This was a message. If you defy Oprah, she will expose your deepest wounds in front of the entire world. But Monique's story was just the beginning. Over the years, a pattern became impossible to ignore. Oprah would befriend celebrities. She would gain their trust. She would extract their secrets, their vulnerabilities, their private pain. And then, if they ever crossed her, she would use all of that information as a weapon against them. 50 Cent saw through it early. 50 understood something that many didn't. Oprah doesn't tolerate artists who refuse to conform to her vision of what a black entertainer should be. If you're too raw, too authentic, too unapologetically yourself, you're a threat. You're someone who can't be controlled. Then there was Ludacris. He appeared on Oprah's show to promote his film Crash alongside his entire cast. He thought it would be a normal interview. Instead, Oprah used the platform to publicly shame him about his lyrics.
I was there for Crash, for the movie.
Yeah.
And basically she said something about not agreeing with my music, but she thought I did great in the movie. And of course I was up there with the whole cast of Crash.
Mm-hmm.
And so I didn't necessarily feel like that needed to be said. You didn't agree with my music. And even if you don't agree with certain songs I made, say you don't agree with certain songs, don't say you just don't agree with all of my music.
Right.
Ludacris did something radical. He defended himself intelligently. He pushed back on her narrative. He articulated why her criticism was unfair. But when the episode aired, Oprah had edited out his response entirely. The audience only heard Oprah's accusations. They never heard Ludacris's defense. He was left looking silent and defeated on national television. This is the playbook. Oprah doesn't just silence critics. She humiliates them. She edits the narrative. She controls what millions of people see and believe. And throughout all of this, Tyler Perry was by her side. Now here's where the story becomes truly dark. Tyler Perry isn't just Oprah's friend. According to Katt Williams and numerous other sources, Tyler Perry is Oprah's instrument. He's the person she uses to carry out her agenda while keeping her own hands relatively clean. But here's what makes this even more sinister. Tyler himself is a victim of this arrangement. Katt Williams has been vocal about this for years. He's watched Tyler's career trajectory, and he's seen the undeniable pattern, a pattern that suggests Tyler has been forced to compromise his own integrity in ways that are deeply troubling.
Kevin doesn't have to worry about what people are going to say about him wearing a dress because of the long line of dress-wearing people before him. So now we have Big Mama's house 1, 2, and 3.
Yeah.
I've never seen Medea in a pantsuit.
Think about what Katt's really saying here. Tyler has built an entire empire on the back of a drag character. But more than that, and this is critical, Tyler has used his power as a producer and director to push other black men into playing demeaning roles. Roles in dresses. Roles that strip away their masculinity. Roles that feed a specific narrative about what black men should be. And according to Brandon Jay, a young actor who worked on Tyler's show Meet the Browns, Tyler doesn't just ask actors to play these roles, he forces them.
The character was Jeffrey, a fat high school teenager who was very intellectual, who was getting bullied at school. I take 2 to 3 days to learn the entire script. On the day of filming, first thing we do is a table read. I know all of my lines. I'm ready to go. So the director, who is Alfonso Ribeiro Carlton in The Fresh Prince of Bel-Air, he starts to block us, telling the actors where to go, where to stand. Mr. Perry comes in, everything changes. So we literally run the entire episode for him. and he hates it. Does that mean I have to learn a whole new script? Yes, that's what it means. Mr. Perry on the spot starts rewriting the entire script, and he's feeding me the lines to say, and the director is kind of standing on the side like, you better do it, because if not, they will fire you. Here is where the shoe hit the fan. So in the middle of Mr. Perry changing up the scenes, he says, you know, I want Jeffrey to be gay, and he has a crush on his bully. That's not what I auditioned for.
Let that sink in. Tyler forced a young actor to completely change his character on the spot. He threatened him with termination if he didn't comply. He didn't give Brandon time to process, to prepare, to consent. He simply decided, and Brandon had to obey. This is the pattern. This is what Oprah has created. A system where powerful men, in this case Tyler Perry, are empowered to manipulate, coerce, and compromise the careers and dignity of younger talent. But the most disturbing allegation came from actor Christian Keys.
Every time this person was sexually harassing me for years. He was claiming, that he had multiple young black men on the payroll, and they just had to show up when he requested them to be there. And clearly, that's why it felt to him that it was okay to say these things. And I want to have these discussions. I want to be transparent with y'all about that. I've done my best to forgive this person, but it happens. It happens. It's not just women that have to deal with it, but it's also men sometimes.
Christian didn't explicitly name Tyler, but his working history with Tyler dates back to 2005 in Diary of a Mad Black Woman, and more recently in All the Queen's Men. The implication is clear, and while all of this is happening, while Tyler is abusing his power, while he's forcing actors into degrading roles, while he's allegedly sexually harassing young men, he's serving Oprah's agenda. Now, Dave Chappelle tried to warn us about this years ago. His story is one of the most important pieces of this puzzle. Dave walked away from a $50 million deal with Comedy Central. He left the country. He went to Africa without telling his wife or children. Most people thought he'd lost his mind, but Dave was trying to escape something far more sinister than a contract dispute.
You got up and you walked out and nobody knew where you were going. Did your family know?
I called my brother.
Yeah.
Me and my brother real cool. I called him up, was like, I'm going to Africa. He was like, cool, man, it's good.
Did your wife and children know where you're going?
No.
No, nobody knew.
No. I bounced.
Oprah tried to get Dave to admit he'd lost his mind. She kept pushing him, suggesting he'd had a mental breakdown. But what she was really doing was attempting to gaslight him, to make his valid concerns sound like the ravings of a madman. But then, Dave revealed something that connected all the dots.
I'm a conspiracy theorist to a degree. Like when I connect dots that maybe shouldn't be connected, I don't know. But certain dots, like when I see that they put every black man in the movies in a dress at some point in their career, I'll be connecting them down like, wow, all these brothers gotta wear a dress. This happened to me. I'm doing a movie with Martin.
Yeah.
The movie's going good. So I walk in the trailer. I'm like, man, this must be the wrong trailer because there's a dress in here. They come in. The writer comes in. I think he's the writer. He's like, Dave, listen, you got this hilarious scene where Martin's sneaking out of jail. So he disguises you as a prostitute. And he put this dress on. And what? A prostitute? Nah, I'm not doing that. I don't feel comfortable with that. That should have been in the discussion. What? You don't feel comfortable with it? I mean, it's a hilarious bit. All the greats have done it. So, well, if all the greats have done it, it's kind of hacky, right? You're a writer. So why don't we just not do it? Because I don't feel comfortable wearing a dress. Oh, come on, Dave. Listen, we got it all set up. We're supposed to shoot. Every minute you waste costs this much money. The pressure comes in. He said, I'm not wearing no dress, man. I'm funnier than a dress. Just give me something funny to say. I don't need to wear no dress to be funny. What am I, Milton Berle? We're going like this. And then finally he's like, and he leaves. And then like the director comes, Dave, it really would be great if you...
And when Dave refused, the pressure escalated. What Dave's describing is a coordinated system. Hollywood isn't randomly asking black men to wear dresses. There's an intentionality to it. There's a script ready to go if they refuse. There's a plan. There's an agenda. And according to Katt Williams, that agenda comes straight from the top.
Some of us are against the Illuminati, and we are against the Illuminati at our own detriment. When people are against the Illuminati, then they get punched in the face all the time. The press hates them. nobody likes him.
Katt is saying something radical here. There are people in this industry, Oprah among them, who represent a system of control. And if you refuse to participate in that system, you get destroyed. The press turns on you. Your reputation gets assassinated. Your opportunities dry up. Dave refused to wear the dress. And what happened? He had to leave the country to escape the fallout. But just when Katt was mounting his case, something unexpected happened. Kevin Hart, another black comedian and actor, appeared on Saturday Night Live, and he wore a dress. This sent shockwaves through the community. Kevin had previously spoken about protecting his brand, about having boundaries, about knowing what he would and wouldn't do. He'd heard Dave's story. He'd heard Katt's warnings, and then he put on a dress anyway.
Definitely haven't ran into to put on the dress. I mean, you know, you have to have boundaries. You have to have limits that you refuse to cross. You know, for me, I know what they are. They've yet to been challenged, so you know, I don't have to speak on them. I was asked to dribble a basketball on a talk show this morning.
You look good
no to that. Not that was a dress, but I was like, no, I'm gonna look stupid. You know, at the end of the day, you got to know that you're a brand. I'm a brand. You need to protect your brand at all times. When things happen that can possibly affect your brand, your brand can be diminished, and you don't want that to happen. So, you know, protecting my brand is definitely a priority.
Kevin was clear. He had boundaries. He wasn't going to compromise. He was protecting his brand. And then, a few months later, he showed up on SNL in a full dress and a lace front wig. But here's the question everyone started asking. Did Kevin really make that decision himself? Or had he been broken down like so many others before him? Katt Williams didn't hold back.
Kevin doesn't have to worry about what people are going to say about him wearing a dress because of the long line of dress-wearing people before him. So now we have Big Mama's house 1, 2, and 3.
Yeah.
I've never seen Madea in a pantsuit.
Katt's saying that Kevin Hart didn't break a system. He entered into a system that's already been established. Tyler Perry normalized it with Madea, that normalized it further with all his movies. Now, for young black comedians and actors, wearing a dress isn't a radical choice. It's an expected rite of passage. It's the price of admission into the industry. But here's where the story takes an unexpected turn. Tyler Perry, who has spent years serving Oprah's agenda, who has compromised his own integrity, who has used his power to degrade and manipulate young black men. Tyler Perry is allegedly breaking his silence. According to the rumor that's now spreading across social media, Tyler has finally realized the extent to which he's been used. He's recognizing that Oprah didn't just guide him or mentor him, she enslaved him. She forced him to sell his soul. Think about it. Tyler Perry didn't start out as a drag queen. He became one because Oprah and the industry pushed him in that direction. He didn't naturally gravitate toward playing female characters. He was steered there. And once he was trapped in that role, once he'd built an entire empire on it, he couldn't escape. He became the machine. He became the enforcer. He became the person through whom Oprah's agenda flowed. And the toll it took on Tyler is incalculable.
I don't believe in giving money away for free. I said, I don't believe in working for free, so we're on the same page.
Those words, which Tyler directed at Monique, reveal something about the cage he was trapped in. Tyler was forced to justify exploitation. He was forced to defend unpaid labor. He was forced to be the bad guy in the story because Oprah was the boss. And all of this time, Oprah maintained her image. She stayed on the high road. She talked about light and darkness. She positioned herself as spiritual and evolved. But behind closed doors, she was orchestrating the destruction of anyone who didn't serve her agenda.
Impossible. It's a law that if you meet negative with negative, you will just have a combusted negative force and negative energy. You can't meet negative energy where it is. You have to rise above it. You have to transcend it. You have to be the light. And it only takes a little bit of light to banish the darkness.
That's Oprah's public response to Monique's accusations. She doesn't address them. She doesn't apologize. She doesn't take responsibility. Instead, she wraps herself in spiritual language and positions herself as above it all. But her actions tell a different story. Then came Taraji P. Henson's bombshell. The actress publicly called out Oprah for underpaying her in The Color Purple, a film Oprah produced and starred in. Taraji P. Henson said in interviews that she had to negotiate hard just to stay attached to the project. And even after all of that, she wasn't compensated fairly for her work. This was Taraji following the path that Monique had paved years earlier. She was saying no to exploitation. She was demanding fair compensation. And Oprah's response? The same as it had always been. Control the narrative, make the actor look ungrateful, and move on. But something was different this time. Taraji's statement cracked something open. It forced people to connect dots they'd been ignoring for years. If Oprah did this to Monique, they asked, if Oprah did this to 50 Cent and Ludacris, if Oprah did this to Dave Chappelle, then why should Taraji expect anything different? The pattern was undeniable. The pattern was systemic. The pattern pattern had been right in front of us all along. And this brings us to Katt Williams, the one comedian who never compromised, the one who never played Oprah's game, the one who refused to wear the dress, refused to diminish himself, refused to be controlled. Katt watched all of this unfold. He watched Monique get blackballed. He watched Dave get destroyed. He watched Kevin Hart fold under pressure. He watched Tyler Perry become Oprah's puppet. And he finally reached his breaking point. Katt is saying something devastating here. Tyler Perry has become so emasculated by the system, so trapped in the cage Oprah built for him, that he can't even portray masculinity convincingly anymore. He can only play women. And Katt is making the connection that this isn't accident or choice. It's the result of systematic degradation. Tyler Perry is a victim of the same machine that destroyed Monique and nearly destroyed Dave Chappelle. And then came the moment that changed everything. Katt Williams, in an interview, became visibly emotional when discussing Tyler's situation. He broke down because he finally understood the full scope of what had happened. Tyler Perry had sold his soul. He'd been forced into a cage by Oprah and the industry, and now he was on the verge of exposing it all. The breakdown wasn't just about Tyler, it was about the realization that this system had been operating for decades. It wasn't just Oprah and Tyler. There were others, there were handlers, there were gatekeepers. There was a coordinated agenda to keep Black entertainers in line, to make them compliant, to break their spirits if they refused. Katt understood that Tyler's exposure was the key to unraveling everything. Because if they could make a success story like Tyler Perry bend to their will, who couldn't they control? The entertainment industry isn't a meritocracy, it's a system of control, and Oprah Winfrey is one of its architects. She's used her platform to destroy careers. She's used confidences as weapons. She's used the appearance of kindness to mask cruelty. She's used Tyler Perry as an instrument to implement her agenda while maintaining plausible deniability. And Tyler, finally facing what he's become, is breaking. The rumors suggest that Tyler is about to go public with everything Oprah forced him to do, everything she made him compromise, every young man he was pressured to degrade, every lie he had to tell to maintain his position. If this happens, the fallout will be seismic because Tyler knows where all the bodies are buried. He knows how deep this goes. He knows the names, the dates, the conversations. He has proof. And Katt Williams, who's been sounding the alarm for years, will finally be vindicated. The question is, will anyone have the courage to listen, or will the machine, like it always does, silence him before he can speak? What we're witnessing is the slow crumble of a carefully constructed facade. Monique refused to be silent. Taji refused to accept exploitation. Dave refused to wear the dress. Katt refused to compromise. And now, potentially, Tyler, the man who served the machine, is refusing to be silent about what he was forced to become. This is about more than gossip. This is about power. This is about who controls the narrative. This is about whether Black entertainers can chart their own course, or whether they'll forever be subject to the whims of those who hold the keys to the kingdom. Oprah built an empire on the back of appearing to lift people up, but behind closed doors, she's been systematically tearing them down. And Tyler Perry, despite being part of that machinery, is finally realizing that he's been as victimized by the system as everyone else. The industry's biggest secret is about to explode, and when it does, everything changes.